Breaking, Venezuelan warship opens fire on a United States destroyer in the Caribbean.
At 4:18 a.m., the Caribbean Sea appears calm. No storms, no civilian ships, just dark water and open space. Then the calm breaks. A flash cuts through the night as a Venezuelan patrol vessel fires a 76mm naval gun toward USS Gravely, a United States Navy destroyer sailing through international waters at 18 knots, less than 7 nautical miles away. There is no radio warning, no attempt to communicate, only live rounds striking the sea. Instead of pulling back, the Venezuelan ship keeps coming. Its bow stays pointed straight at the United States patrol route. The distance continues to shrink. This is not confusion. This is intent. Inside Gravely, alarms sound across the ship. Radar contacts sharpen. Every update matters now. At this range, seconds decide everything. This is not a routine encounter. It is a direct challenge, sent without words, under cover of darkness. And what the Venezuelan crew does not understand yet is this: the most dangerous response is not always the loudest one. If you want to see how this standoff unfolds step by step, subscribe now, because the next move will change the balance of control in these waters. This confrontation did not happen by chance. The stretch of water where this unfolds is one of the most watched parts of the Caribbean. Commercial shipping passes through it every day. Energy routes run nearby. United States naval sensors monitor this space around the clock. Every radar pulse, every course change, every engine signature is recorded. For Venezuela, operating here is not about winning a fight. It is about testing boundaries. Closing distance in international waters sends a signal without triggering an immediate declaration of conflict. It is pressure without paperwork, a way to see how far the line can be pushed before something pushes back. For the crew aboard Gravely, the stakes are very different. This is not a headline or a political statement. It is a live situation at sea, in the dark, where a single misread move can turn steel into fire. These sailors are not thinking about strategy on a map. They are thinking about angles, speed, and whether the next flash will land closer. This is why moments like this matter, because they sit in the space between peace and open conflict. Too weak a response invites more pressure. Too strong a response risks escalation. The balance is fragile, and every decision is deliberate. Right now, two sides are measuring each other in real time. One believes proximity creates leverage. The other believes control creates power. If you think the challenge was justified, press 1 inch the comments. If you think it crossed a dangerous line, press 9 and make your position clear. And stay with us, because the response you are about to see explains everything. The first sign of danger is not sound. It is data. On the screens inside USS Gravely, the Venezuelan contact changes behavior. Its track tightens, speed stays steady, but the angle shifts just a few degrees. Then fire control signals appear. To the crew watching the screens, that means one thing. The other side is no longer posturing. It is preparing. No one raises their voice. No one rushes. This is the moment when training replaces instinct. Gravely does not fire back. The ship holds course for several long seconds. That pause is deliberate. It allows the crew to confirm intent, not guess it. At close range, guessing gets people killed. Quietly, electronic systems move into a different mode. Antennas adjust their alignment. Signals from the Venezuelan ship are captured, separated, and analyzed. Then they are changed just enough to matter. The Venezuelan radar is still transmitting. From their side, everything appears normal. But the picture coming back begins to drift. Distance no longer matches what the eye expects. Bearings feel slightly off. What should be solid data starts to feel unreliable. Inside Gravely, a technician watches numbers slide by small margins. Not dramatic shifts, just enough to introduce doubt. Enough to slow decisions. On the Venezuelan ship, gunners try to confirm range again. The sea looks empty ahead. The data disagrees. Their systems no longer line up with reality, and that gap grows wider by the second. This is the first response. Not gunfire, not a warning shot. Control. Gravely maintains steady movement at 18 knots. No sharp turn, no sudden acceleration. The ship looks calm on the surface, but every system beneath it is working with purpose. That steadiness sends its own signal. This situation is being managed, not reacted to. Seconds pass, then more seconds. Each one shifts the balance further away from the ship that fired first. The Venezuelan crew expected fear, or anger, or noise. Instead, they are left with uncertainty. And at sea, uncertainty is dangerous. Those aboard Gravely understand this phase will not last long. Confusion can only be held for so long before the situation moves forward. And when it does, the encounter will enter a far more visible and dangerous stage. What follows is not sudden, it is controlled, step by step. As the electronic pressure takes hold, the Venezuelan ship changes tactics. Small objects lift from its deck and move low over the water. These are not jets or missiles. They are simple drones, slow and inexpensive, sent forward to test reaction and force a mistake. On USS Gravely, the watch team tracks them immediately. Range updates appear every few seconds. The drones spread slightly, staying close to the surface where radar clutter is thick. The intent is clear. Divide attention, create confusion, push the crew into a rushed decision. But no alarms scream, no guns turn, the sea remains quiet. A calm order is given. A system comes online that does not sound like combat. There is no explosion, no shockwave. Energy is focused forward, steady and controlled. One drone loses stability and drops into the water, then another, then the rest. Each failure is silent, almost invisible beyond the ship. For a brief moment, nothing happens. Only the sound of water moving past steel. Then Gravely adjusts again. Speed changes by a few knots. Course shifts by a narrow angle. This is not about creating distance, it is about shaping the space around the ship. Even a small adjustment can change what sensors can see and what the opposing crew can predict. One side gains clarity, the other loses it. From the Venezuelan bridge, the situation feels wrong. Their drones are gone, their targeting picture no longer makes sense. The United States destroyer has not fired a single shot. Yet control is clearly slipping away. Fatigue sets in fast during moments like this. Crew members lean closer to their screens. Voices drop. Decisions slow because nothing is behaving as expected. The pressure grows heavier because it cannot be explained. This is where escalation becomes dangerous. When one side realizes it is no longer setting the pace, but still does not know why. If you believe launching drones was a smart attempt to regain control, press 1 in the comments. If you think it only accelerated the loss of advantage, press 9 and let us know where you stand. Because escalation has now reached a turning point, and the next move will not stay quiet for long. From the outside, the situation looks strangely quiet. No smoke, no fire, no wreckage on the water. But that calm is misleading. What the Venezuelan crew does not see is the full picture forming inside USS Gravely. Every second of restraint has been used to build something more important than speed or force. It has been used to build certainty. Range is now confirmed. Angles are clean. Timing is locked. The destroyer is no longer reacting to events, it is shaping them. On the Venezuelan ship, confusion deepens. Their drones are gone. Their targeting data cannot be trusted. The United States ship has shifted position just enough to change the balance, but not enough to look aggressive. That uncertainty creates a dangerous gap. Orders slow down. Assumptions replace facts. This is the twist. The challenge was meant to force the United States into a visible response. Instead, it pulled the Venezuelan ship into a position where its options quietly disappeared. The pressure that was supposed to intimidate has reversed direction. No one on the Venezuelan bridge realizes it yet, but the encounter has already turned. The window to disengage cleanly is closing, even though no shots have been fired. On Gravely, the mood stays focused. No celebration, no tension release, just steady confirmation that the conditions are now exactly where they need to be. This is the moment when restraint becomes leverage. If you think the situation could still end without force, press 1 in the comments. If you believe the turning point has already passed, press 9 and make your call. Because what comes next will decide whether this standoff fades quietly or ends in a way that cannot be taken back. The decision comes without drama. Inside USS Gravely, the final checks are completed. Range is steady, angle is clean. The opposing ship remains on a threatening line, still inside a distance where mistakes become deadly in seconds. Nothing about the situation suggests hesitation. Everything points to resolution. A short command is given: clear, calm, final. 2 missiles leave the ship in quick succession. There is no long buildup, no warning call over the radio. The launches are controlled and precise, designed to end the threat, not expand it. The exhaust fades quickly into the dark sky, almost unnoticed beyond the ship itself. From a distance, the launch looks brief and contained, but everyone on board understands what it means. Seconds stretch longer than they should. Those seconds matter. They are filled with quiet focus, not anticipation. No one looks away from their station. No one speaks unless required. This is the moment when outcome replaces possibility. Then the impacts come. They are focused and deliberate. The strikes do not tear the hull apart or send the ship under the water. Instead, they hit where control lives. Key systems fail almost at once. Power drops. Sensors go dark. The ship's ability to maneuver with purpose disappears. What moments ago was an aggressive approach becomes a drifting problem at sea. On the Venezuelan bridge, confusion turns into urgency. Orders change tone, reports overlap, voices tighten as the crew realizes the situation has shifted beyond recovery. The initiative is gone, and it is not coming back. On Gravely, there is no visible reaction beyond confirmation. No raised voices, no celebration. The crew stays focused because restraint does not end when missiles are fired. It ends when risk is fully removed and control is restored. For a brief moment, the sea returns to silence. Then new reports arrive. The opposing ship remains afloat, but everything about its posture has changed. It is no longer closing distance. It is no longer testing limits. The confrontation has ended on terms it did not choose. Even now, Gravely does not press forward. No follow-up strike is ordered. No additional force is shown. The message has already been delivered, clearly and unmistakably. This is the peak of the encounter. Not loud, not chaotic, controlled to the final second. One side fired first. The other chose when it would end. When the sun begins to rise, the Caribbean looks unchanged. The water is calm again. No smoke hangs in the air. No wreckage drifts across the surface. To an outside observer, it appears as if nothing serious happened. But below that, calm behavior has shifted. In the hours after the confrontation, instructions move quietly through Venezuelan naval channels. Patrol vessels receive new guidance, routes are adjusted, approaches widen. Ships that once closed distance now keep it. There is no public statement, no announcement, but the change is visible at sea to anyone watching closely. The message was received. For the crew aboard USS Gravely, the moment passes without ceremony. Systems return to routine watch. Logs are completed. Watches rotate. The ship continues its patrol through international waters, steady and unchanged. For them, the most dangerous part was not the missile launch, but the long minutes before it, when restraint had to hold while pressure built and every option carried risk. What matters now is not the damage done, but the decision that caused it. This encounter shows how modern naval power is applied, not through constant fire, but through control of timing, space, and escalation. One side relied on proximity and pressure, believing boldness would force a reaction. The other relied on sensors, coordination, and patience. This incident will not be remembered for explosions. It will be remembered for what did not happen. No prolonged firefight, no sinking ship, no regional crisis spiraling out of control. The threat was stopped without turning the Caribbean into a battlefield. But the lesson cuts both ways. Low-cost tools and close approaches can still create real danger. A single misjudgment can force advanced systems to respond in seconds. The margin for error is thin, and future encounters may leave less room for restraint. For now, the sea remains quiet. But that quiet carries weight. It reflects decisions made under pressure and limits clearly revealed. Commanders on both sides understand that the next encounter may not unfold the same way. That memory will travel faster than any patrol boat, It will shape briefings, shift routes, and slow decisions. In waters where seconds matter, hesitation can be the loudest warning of all. And the next time a patrol ship considers closing distance, this moment will already be part of the calculation long before the first order is ever given.